Y'all, we have a trio at the podcast today. I'm so excited to welcome Dr. Theresa Ashby and Catherine Curry Williams to the podcast. I'm going to let you both introduce yourselves, starting with Dr. Theresa Ashby. Welcome.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting the two of us here. We are so excited, and when we get to talk about our passions, we're all in. Yes, I'm Dr. Theresa Ashby, but my friends call me Dr. T. And I've spent the majority of my career really helping businesses grow, and I think it's so important when we're looking at purpose and profit to understand what that means because we get overwhelmed. So I love doing it. Forbes.com called me a strategist, so I love that. Appreciate that, and I'm an author of 2 books really all about implementing strategy and also growing your business through digital products. So yeah.
And Catherine, introduce us and tell us about your work.
Hi, I'm Catherine Curry Williams, and again, I'm grateful, like Theresa said, that you had us on here because profit and purpose and profit is it goes hand in hand. What a beautiful title of a podcast. I'm honored to be on. What I do is in the sector of philanthropy, and that seems big and scary, but what I'm about is changing and challenging the concepts of traditional philanthropy because I feel like people think they need to have millions of dollars to be a philanthropist, where
Yep.
basically and absolutely what philanthropy means is the love of humanity. So it's about the size of your heart, not your wallet, and it's strategic giving. And so what I do, and for almost 3 decades now, have like founded an organization called She Angels. Co-founded that. That's second. That happened in 2020, but in 20 oh gosh, in 1998, I've the 19s, 97, I founded an organization in memory of my son called Shane's Inspiration. It's now called Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration, and we build playgrounds all over the world and have in, for children of all abilities to play side by side. But inclusion is the huge focus of what most of my work is, and it's not just in playgrounds. She Angels is including women to be at the table as leaders. And how do we do that? And so that's what I speak on. I talk about how to be inclusive for everyone.
Tell us about your work with She Angels because you're already helping to set the stage here of understanding that it's not just about major donors. Amazing if we can get six-figure gifts and beyond, but what you're saying here too is you can have a profound impact as an individual donor, even giving $100 a month. So let's kind of zoom out for a second and talk to me about your work with She Angels because it's pretty impressive what you all have accomplished.
Well, it started because of a statistic that still, in 2019, I read the statistic that only less than 1.8% at the time of all US charitable giving go to women and girls causes. Like that included medical. That's less than animals receive. So I always say I got angry, but that didn't matter because angry doesn't get you too far. So I called as many friends as I could to help me understand that could this be true? And
Mm.
even though it's co-founded by myself and Catherine Gray, I really call it co-founded by all the founders, all the members. We started a membership organization because everyone was incensed. So how could we work immediately? Well, basically, in doing the math, it's like $1.40 a day. You can have $511 in a year. So in doing that, I convinced the first 10 friends, then the next 100 from their 10 friends to start this collective giving organization. So She
Mm.
Angels is really, I call it, founded by all of us because we're all in this together in making a difference. Small in small giving is huge impact. And the way collective giving works is that those 10 friends at $1.40 a day, we were able to give our first $5,000 grant.
Oh,
That was
so
4
cool.
years ago. And to date, we've given 46 $5,000 grants from the simplicity. So no one really could argue with me that they don't have $1.40 a day. Now, how that happens is they become a member of a collective giving organization, many at $500. Also, we have lots of $1,000 members, so you can go
Mm-hmm.
on for collective giving, like you said, we love the big donors, that's great, and people can donate more and absolutely do. But as little as you give, you can make a huge impact. And together we can make a big impact. And finding a strategic way to do it is what we have found, that giving grants to these female founded and operated nonprofits that provide resources for women and girls.
Dr. T, anything to add to that?
Well, I think I want everybody to really like how so often we get like, we got to do this big thing. We've got to pull all these hundreds of people to put these conferences on or put these, and we're like going after. To me, that key point here was she got 10 of her friends together and they started really just saying how much should our membership be? Okay, our minimum membership is $500. What does that equal? It equals a $5,000 grant. So everybody wants to be a part of a community. And really what She Angels is a community of women with like-minded ideas and thoughts and passions. And we come together for the collective giving part.
I think you made a really good point, because I think it's just human nature, but I can hear it from my clients where sometimes I'm telling them, we're doing the today version of this, not the 10-year version of this. The 10-year version is going to be so good and amazing, but that's not the one that gets you out the door to launch. And so what I'm hearing is you all both understood that like very keenly, of like, this is how we start and grow it. But it has since had incredible momentum. But how do you go initially from like gathering those 10 women and then I guess 10 more and 10 more and 10 more? What does the growth look like?
It's been exponential because as Theresa said, and we're now in how many cities we're in? We're growing it past our own city because we give grants all over the country. Whoever
Mm-hmm.
applies, if they meet the criteria. So um, people want to be, I think Theresa really hit the big point, is people want to be a part of the community and they want to make a difference now. And they want to make a difference for us. Our strategy is to grow women into leadership positions and help them out of situations. There's so many organizations that are very worthy, that work so hard in the grassroots sector. They're helping their communities right then and there. They don't have a lot of red tape. They
Mm.
uh, and now we give a big check so everyone sees that we're doing this. Like, it's different than writing a check, sending it off, $20 here, $100 there. The next thing you know, you've done that, or you've gone to a gala once and you've paid $500 to $5,000 a ticket. And when we explain that everything is free for us, because a collective giving circle, we don't spend our money in these areas outside where we're spending money to make money. We're actually taking your money, 100% of it, in this program, which is the collective giving program. We have two programs, and we're using it right now. So come back next month. We're going to have what we call Angel Power Happy Hour. We're going to give a grant. You're going to be part of it. The minute they feel that way, because it's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what happened to me. So oh my God, I can see who I'm making a difference to right here, right now. They can't help but tell a friend, because it's contagious. It's I don't know that that's a great, it is a good word. It is. Everybody wants to feel good, and I think the majority of us want to do good, but we put it on the back burner. Oh, when I have
Mm-hmm.
this later, because it's so, as you said, it seems so far out of reach. And I think when they see it, it's absolutely in the moment, in reach, and they see the difference because we have tons of impact reports. They do tell a friend. It is extraordinary.
Let me ask you this, because this just popped into my head, and either of you can take this one. But like, I'm thinking about a nonprofit who's maybe got a really great board member or just a really connected, engaged donor who's like, I'm really passionate about X. I'm really passionate about what you do. How do they, because it's like almost recruitment, right? In that sense of like bringing in their 10, right? But I would imagine you experienced this where as you were building She Angels, maybe you found a few people who were like, that's cool, but they didn't go all in. Like, how did you find your people?
You know what? I'm going to take that. I'm going to
Take it.
take that. Here's why I'm going to take that is because we were on the same line of thought here, Christina. So it has to do a lot with the first of all, we all know that the person that starts the organization has to do a couple of things. One, they have to build the culture or the idea and the concept, right? The other thing is they have to step out of the way. And I think that's kind of when Catherine dreamed this up, she knew what the vision was. She gathered those 10 people and was very, very, very clear about what the mission is. And it does not deviate. And often we want
Yeah.
to go, we want to do this, and well, let's add this. It's very clear. So those first 10 knew it. So when they were out talking to other people, they knew how to talk and discuss. The other piece is when we have these events, everybody walks in the door and it's a level playing field. We have members that are young and we have members that are very seasoned in their life and from every walk of life. And what we're doing is we walk into that door, and as women, this is so important for us to do. We walk in the door, we embrace each other. We don't talk about business. We talk about where we're going and what we want to do. And I can't emphasize enough about building that openness and freedom and caring and love for a purpose and a mission, how important it is right at the beginning.
Oh, I think
Again,
that's
to get it's
so
about
good.
people, and it's not, money is important for us too, but again, simple change can go so far to make a big change, little change in your pocket. And I think they get that is we are not selling them. And then there are some people who don't, and we go like, great, thank you. And, or if you're
Yeah.
doing something else,
Yeah.
I have some friends that only give to animals. I have a very deep passion for animals. And I will say that if women were ruling the world, if we had a lot more leadership in charge, we probably wouldn't have as many animal shelters. We are about solutions. Women, it's that is what we do. We look for solutions. We've had to do that since the beginning of time. You have a baby, if you choose to have children, or have family and so on, you have to that's what your day is about. It doesn't say you take this hat off and I do that, and now I'm going to do that. No, you have to simultaneously do it all. So you need to find a
Yep.
solution. And that's what we talk about. And when we're passionate and authentic in that area, um, those people migrate and we become magnets for that. And we like to be money magnets, more money, because then we can help more women to help. And the women help men. We love men, we love all, but we need to be on an equal level playing field to do
That's
that.
right.
And at this point, we are so tipped. The 1.8% shows us how tipped we are. And that statistic wasn't even available until 2016, where the Lilly Family Foundation came up with that statistic. So we weren't even in the mix of looking at what we were getting. So
Crazy.
I'll have to give the floor to one of you so I can take a deep breath every time I think about that. I'm like,
It's maddening, right? Anytime we talk about women's health,
Right.
it get pretty mad fast, right? It's just so historically underfunded, and we just are lumped in with men, and that's just what it is. And so I think that's why it's so valuable, the work you're doing. And I'm already seeing just I think it's both sides. I think it's easy for donors who give at an under $500 or less level a year, and for organizations who think of their donors at the small donors
mm,
to both discount themselves. Like, oh, it's all I can give. It's not that impactful. You're already turning that around. You're showing me in a couple of different ways of like how it's translating into these $5,000 grants to organizations who are historically underfunded,
Mhm.
right? And that when we see our money being pulled together, what's possible. But I really like what you said, Dr. T, about everyone is on a level playing field. And that's the community piece. That's the identity piece. I know we see it with Gen Z, millennials, and everyone really, but like they want to be part of like change making and have that identity. I'm with them. They're with me. We see it a lot with like Charity Water and a couple of other sort of movement oriented nonprofits. Talk to me about like I, I have a love hate. I don't know if that's the word, but like I have a relationship with the word community where it's just it becomes a buzzword that means nothing, but you're really defining it here. So let's dig into like community and creating a culture that is like a true community. What is that? How do you do it? Give us all the details.
You want to take that, Catherine, or you want me to?
I'm gonna let you take that,
Okay, I'll take it. Um,
Doctor G with the capital
I
R.
think I just want to I love the part about digging into this because we hear also a lot about socially mission driven organizations in the for-profit world, and often that is also misunderstood. And community is a buzzword until you define it as a group of people that come directly for a passion and a purpose, and they are not looking at what it is for them, but what it is for the greater good. And I
Mm,
think that's very hard because often people go, I'm going to build a community because it's going to help grow my business. I'm going to get a community so that I'm known. This is not that kind of community. This is the community where when you walk in, you understand why you're there. We're very focused on our outcomes. And I know that at the end of the day, my dollars and cents are going to go and to someone that now they can carry out their mission fully in the fact that that's what they want to do.
mm.
And
Um,
we're a very diverse community
yeah, we
of
have a very diverse community, don't we? And I think that's the other piece that we have to have the diversity in every aspect of the word diversity. Because again, that's another word that we
right
tend
community.
to, but imagine, just look at the people we have in our own life and whatever you believe in, if you have a certain faith and you're attending your faith-based organization, if you're in school, you're attending school, and we tend to get those communal groups that we gravitate to. And what we're saying is you take that communal group that you're gravitating to, and that person that's next to you goes and gets their communal group and then their communal group, and that's how it spreads, and that's also how we spread the diversity.
This is
Yeah.
I there's never it's Margaret Mead quote, never doubt a small group of committed, thoughtful citizens will change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has. And when we come in and we lead from that, and what we see is instead of, if we can change the word community to committed, we're we're
Hmm.
we're citizens. This is actually the grassroots um, meaning for the democracy in this way, a democratic way of giving to people and share. Like we're all at the table. We're looking how we can make a change. We're grassroots organizations, and why we choose that, because it is the people helping the people. And
Hmm.
so really this is that old-fashioned way of how we do it. We appreciate the help from all different aspects of it, but we have to start here. And what happens with grassroots is, now I believe in good full pay for, we have a volunteer based organization, but I do believe in full pay and as and good pay for the executives that work in organizations. And grassroots organizations unfortunately don't have the funding. It's an uphill battle, but it's like a circle that keeps on going. They need the funding to get the people to get more funding, and they're not in a higher echelon where they don't get big funding, so they can't pay people well to go out. It's very unbalanced the way it is, because they have to have more volunteers. But what happens is that say $5,000, we'll use that money, goes like a $50,000 because they're using it going directly to that community.
Mhm.
And I think what excites people in one way is that we are the community that helps out. We are literally the links to our fellow citizens.
Yeah.
I think it's like a
Yeah.
simple turn back the time. We have to go back to the simplicity. There's certain things that I've been listening to lately that Louise Hay and simple, simple, simple. I'm like, yeah, my book. So simple that when I read it, I'm like, well, simple, but you know what? That is not difficult. Things are less
Yeah.
difficult than we make it.
Right.
It's our neighbor, it's our friend. It's simple to say hello. It's simple to say, what can I do for you?
Yep.
But instead, we're making it,
Isn't
you know,
it funny how like technology can complicate things? Like
Yes.
it also can be a barrier. Like I'm thinking of an organization where they actually like fessed up and they were like, my best friend was like, how come you've never asked me to be a monthly donor? And her thought was, I got to go big. I got to go wide. She had another belief in there, which was like, I don't want to bug my friend. Right. But it
right.
was like, oh, simple, simple, simple. What if it just starts with like, oh yeah, my network, my friends of
Yes.
friends, asking, picking up the phone, texting. Like we sometimes overcomplicate it, right? And going back to the basics too of like, not everybody is a major donor, but like, wow, $1 a day, that's pretty major. That's pretty compelling. Then we group it together. Now we're really onto something.
Right.
Yeah. And I do think this is the trend of philanthropy for the future. Um, well, certainly the kind of philanthropy that we're talking about to really going to this, I don't know about changing the world, but we're changing the thinking of,
Mm,
eventually to it. But, it's not going to maybe, cure climate change. And, it's in a world of politics. I don't think we're going to solve all the things. There's lots of things that are broken. But this is something that isn't broken. It is how people are good. There is so much good out there. I think genuinely people are, but they don't know how to implement their good.
yeah.
And so I should throw this over to our greatest, Dr. T is the implementation specialist, which is why we are growing our organization as well, because she's saying this working. So talk about implementation for a minute, if you will.
Yes. Lay it on us,
Absolutely.
Dr. T.
Absolutely. Well, I think that it makes it really easy when you're doing these giving circles, right? Because that's a natural way to grow your organization in a very simplistic way. And what we did is we're doing so many great things here in LA. We're doing things in New York. But what
Mhm.
if, and Catherine always uses the term, it's like a book club. Right? It's just like a book club.
Mm,
You're gathering your 5 to 10 friends, bringing them together and telling the story. So the question was, how do we do that? How do we actually start having those conversations? And once again, we put it out to our network, and they said, "Well, I have somebody in actually we have one in San Diego now, which is a few hours away, but people from San Diego aren't going to drive 3-4 hours to come to the LA one. So now we have a circle there. We just opened a big circle in New York. We just Cleveland. We're going to expand to Texas again.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, gathering a small group of people and saying, let's make this happen. Here's the other part to that implementation.
yeah.
So you talk about technology. That is when technology becomes important because of the way you can engage and track and start collecting your money, keeping track of your volunteers, keeping track of all the grants you've had the opportunity to reach out. And so we did do a lot of technology implementation. We have started those circles. We created all the beautiful standard operating procedures so that somebody, when they want
Yeah.
to start a circle, one of us goes out and opens it with them. Like we are there hand holding them to make sure that it's easy for them.
It's a party, and
It's a party.
it's basically most of us like to have Um, that's what we say, if you have 10 friends in your community, and now you have some wine, have some tea, whatever you're sit together and talk
Yeah.
a bit about, even a little bit about the statistics in women and what their passions are. Um, and then in your community, you one of those 10 friends or 20 or 30, and now we have 200 showing up at our door all the time. Just in LA and in New York, we have a lot of people coming into these, what started as 10 people book clubs. They are now 50 people want to be in it. But they then go out of those women, oh, I know this organization. They are doing so good. And do they fit our criteria? We say, go to our website, fill out
Yep.
our very easy a form for it's a submission for a grant, and then we have an awesome grant vetting team. We check it out, make sure it's all good. We don't make this hard for the grantees, the people we give the grants to. So
And we
now,
love you for that.
So
I will, on
easy.
behalf of
It's
everyone, thank you.
easy. Right.
Yes.
and if
Yes.
you know somebody and they it fits in, then now your book club gets to, they don't have to handle anything. All the
Yeah.
money from your giving circle is tax deductible. We are the one organization holding this plate. So you could then in your community and in your area, in your neighborhood, even if it's not in your neighborhood, someone know, or your community right there, and you say, I love this organization. I'm in, where do you live, Christina?
I'm in Atlanta.
Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta, but I know someone in Carolina, this organization that I love, our giving circle. We would like to do this. And you give it, and you get to have a big check you present them, and then your money is going to them. It's so simple. I,
I I love that you're saying this because some of the things that we talk about often are like friction, and you're just removing friction. The other words you keep saying are simple,
Mhm.
easy, and my favorite that you just said is it's a party. Remember, like donors, like no one's excited about being pitched to or sold to. I'm not excited when somebody knocks on the door and is like, let me talk to you about your windows. Not excited. I'm excited to go to a party. I'm excited to hang with my friends and have book club. I'm excited for that. And I love that you've translated this movement into something that people want to attend. So I think going back to community, Dr. T was talking about, that's what I'm hearing is like an important part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I also think because we can invite donors to these parties that we have, they see the energy, they see the excitement, they see us giving the grant. It makes it easier for them to see if I give X amount, I see my dollars working because look, that's the idea, right?
Yep.
But I think because there's two things, right? We're giving these grants away, so your membership dollars goes directly to the grants. We still have operational costs, so we
Sure.
still need the folks to give us money outside of the membership. But what we have found with these giving circles is we can say we're expanding across the United States. We'd love you to sponsor or help with one of these giving circles. And so that's another way that a donor can tangibly feel they're supporting the organization. And often what happens is our members are they're members, right? But then they belong to another organization, or they personally end up
Mm-hmm.
also saying, you know what, but I want to put some dollars and cents towards expansion. And that's sort of the continuation of what's building this organization.
I'm hearing a lot of transparency. I'm hearing a lot of just not formulaic jargon that
Yes.
nonprofits can, we love you, but sometimes
Yep.
use a lot. And yeah, that's going to get me to act. If I'm on your email list and it's like, hey, Christina, we're thinking about coming to Atlanta.
Right.
Do you want to sponsor or do you want to be a part of this? Or what could you
That's right.
do? Versus just sort of this generic, like, we need dollars, right?
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
need more, more, more. And that transparency, again, is that fun and easy. And then the other piece that's just, I'm hearing is like this ripple effect, because there's the
Mhm.
ripple effect of the initial giving circle coming together and being, granting that award, the ripple effect of what's possible with that, and then just growing, and then other people being like, oh, I know a nonprofit, they should apply. Like, it's so reciprocal. I mean, that must feel amazing to be like, holy shit, we are making moves happen here.
I mean, we love to live. We're living our values in our everyday. Hopefully, we are, integrity and then value. We're living our values, and then we're getting to share and live our values in in philanthropic way as well to emulate how others can. I mean, yeah, damn straight, we feel fucking fabulous. Excuse my word. It's like, yes, what better feeling? Like, I love waking up in the morning for what I do, and again, it's all volunteer, but it just feels so great to be able to talk about this to everyone. Of course, if I could go out there everywhere, that's why I'm working on talking to more. Let's take the fear and the overwhelm out of philanthropy. Charitable giving is emotional giving. It's a band-aid and important. The hurricanes, the
Mhm.
fires, the floods, of course, are very important. So you take care of that. But that's can't is not your full-on purposeful living for
Yeah.
all the time, because we're not looking for, oh, we can't wait till we give next time there's a catastrophe,
That's right.
So I think it's important. This allows you to feel like, wake up in the morning and I love humanity, and this is what I'm making a difference. And
Yeah.
guess what? I'm still walking the mall, shopping, teaching my class, doing what I do also. It's part of the fabric. It's part of the tapestry of who you are.
Yeah, I'm really hearing that you found something, which is that everyone has philanthropic goals, and I think nonprofits are trained to care about the philanthropic goals of the white guy with lots and lots of money, and to just court that guy, right?
Right.
And then they get in the bottleneck of relying on the same handful of donors to make or break their
Mhm.
budget.
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing is tapping into the philanthropic goals that we all have. There's reactionary fundraising that's, like you said, urgent crisis. That's not part of my philanthropic goals, though I'm there when you need me. But I
Mhm.
hope you don't need me. I hope you don't need me for that fire, that flood. But really tapping into somebody who has a philanthropic goal who, like I said, can give it a couple $1,000s a year, a couple $100s a year. And for them to see what's possible, I think is really part of the movement that you're creating. And Dr. T, I'll kind of let you take this one of just, is this what you see as the future of nonprofits who are finding success in the next decade, 2 decades? Is this a trend you're seeing?
Well, I think if we look at the difference in our, I don't have kids myself, but I have a niece and nephew that by the way, I'm the perfect aunt. I'm Auntie Theresa, and I'm the perfect aunt to them. But
Of
I,
course.
but I see, I completely see the shift from when I was growing up. They will not buy anything. They will not come to an event of anything that they really don't believe in. And I also think they're more of and I mean this with all due respect, they're more of a transient kind of opportunity. Like, they want to travel the world. They want to
Mhm.
be a lot freer. And I think what this allows is not that behemoth of a nonprofit that looks just like the corporate world that I don't want to belong to. And when you
Mhm.
open this up to the generation of just come and hang, because right, that's what they do. They hang. I know in another year or so it'll be a different language and my niece will have to teach me all of it. But right now they want to hang. That's what we do. That is
Yeah.
our party. We hang with each other and talk about important issues to us. And I so I do see this as a trend, and I see that it's important because also it allows them to start giving now.
Yeah.
Because I think when for me, right, I was career oriented, I was driven, I was working, I was doing all this stuff, and I was the check giver. in corporate world, it just comes out of my paycheck. So I didn't even know where the money was going. I just knew I needed to give, and I could say I gave. I think we're just saying, like, this is now the passion giving. This is the important giving. I want to see results. And so the answer is yes. And I got there the long way, but because it's super important for me to see how my nieces and nephews are growing up and what they want.
Yeah. Isn't it so funny how I've been saying this a lot lately. Consumer habits have changed, but has it changed with that generation? The way that they shop, the way they consume content, the way they want to interact with brands and make choices with the businesses they support, like all of that does end up moving over here to the way that they give and the expectations of what's going to keep them there and what's not going to keep them there with the organization. So I think that's so smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to see where it goes to. I mean, the GoFundMe's and all the platform giving. It's good. They want to make immediate difference, but it doesn't. The ripple effect, it can't happen from that because that's individual. Again, particularly crisis, but they give that way because they like to see the immediate
It's
effect.
immediate.
Yes.
That's it. And
Yeah.
I also think the average GoFundMe that does really well is absolutely stripped down of the formulaic sterile language. It's the real. It's a crappy photo. It's a daily update. It has a vlog style almost to it, the good ones.
Right.
And I think, again, that's what we're looking for. And I think that some nonprofits are like, yeah, but we can't do it that way. And I'm like, there is a way you can adapt that to work for the story you are telling that's scalable. What do you think?
And you bring up a really good point because it's straddling the generations. But if you don't learn to straddle the generations, your organization is going to die. We have seen it over and over and over. It doesn't matter, nonprofit or for profit. If you don't learn to straddle the vastness of the generations that exist, we are losing such important information. And to me, it's up to me now to be also mentoring the folks, the younger folks. Like I just look at the 25, 30, 35-year-olds who want to absolutely do something. I mean, listen, there's kids now that have businesses at age 5 and 6 and 7. They want, and they're all socially mission driven and they want to do something. So why don't we engage them differently and show them how we can bring them up, not up as in raise them up, but bring them forward. And guess what? Who's the best teacher for us? They are. My niece, who's 18, going on, no, she's 20 now, going on, 40, teaches me everything I need to know.
It's true.
That's why I get excited when I go to these parties, these giving circles, because I just look around and I'm like, wow, this is just. And also when I grew up, there wasn't the women's groups that were kind and generous and non-competing. And so you sit there in a room and you're like, we are really making a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. People, that is one thing we hear all the time. We have women that go that are very wealthy and can afford $25,000 and they give and they love being in our group. They say, well, you know what, I'm going to stop giving there. I want to hear more because I'm included, where I feel like my money speaks to me, that it speaks as me rather than me speaking as me. Of course, again, the money is important, but it's really, if it's your whole picture, it's again, what is it's holistic. It's all the things. And of course, as Theresa said, it's like if we don't change, we have the ability to, where corporations and major organizations, they're so wrapped up in their bottom line that that's what they have to fill before they go out to their mission. And I know this, in being 3 decades, sounds a little less, but going into 30 years of being on both sides of this nonprofit world. And I have mentored, executive directors in huge organizations. And what they do is always say to me that, oh my God, thank you, because I get let them off the hook as this is the person, this is what you're doing. So let's talk about you and how this works versus all the technical aspects of it. Tons of
Hmm.
people out there that will do that. But heart driven, my mentors, fortunately, were much older who have passed on now, but they were very heart driven and philanthropic in the way of love for humanity. So I was, and of course my mom, and it's a lot of times I'll ask people when I speak of like, where did you come up with philanthropy? So like we have to go back to the roots of what was your thought of it? What was your idea?
Mm,
Even with the young kids. And that's when we're hearing all the different parts of it.
I
And
love that question.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. I could talk to y'all for another hour, but instead, I'm going to ask the question we ask all of our guests, and whoever's ready can take it first, which is, would you share with us one go to thought you like to think on purpose? This could be an affirmation, a mantra. Sometimes I call them power thoughts that keep you going. Would you share yours with us?
Catherine, you want to
I'm
go?
gonna I'm gonna say, don't wait till you think it's perfect to take action. It's always a work in progress. There's
That's right. Great one.
Yeah, mine is go for it and don't be perfect.
oh, let's see.
We have a theme. We
Yeah,
have a
Yep.
theme.
Yep.
when someone told me like, well, I should know this. Perfect is not ever something. So you don't really take action if you're because I said I'm not a perfectionist. That's the only down flaw about me. I move and I make decisions, and this was Liz Swadek, and she said, "Well, if you're detail oriented, that's great, which is a good way to make decisions. But if you were looking for perfection, those people have a harder time moving forward. I don't want to,
Hmm.
knock all the perfectionists out there, but I thought I was not a good person in handing in a paper or doing something very corporate or I'm not a perfectionist. This is not going to, maybe the comma is missing. Maybe I didn't dot that I.
Mm.
Oh, go back. I would just
Mhm.
move forward with it. And if I,
Sometimes I tell my clients imperfection will make you a lot of money,
A
and it
lot
just gives
of
them
money.
peace. It will
Yeah.
make you a lot of money. Just
Yeah.
let it be imperfect,
Yep.
because I think a lot of leaders struggle with that, like dotting I's, crossing T's. This is my life's work. I'm like, it's an email, and we go, and we go,
Mhm.
and we go.
yeah, I hate when I
So,
miss. I do you, and it should say your.
listen, you're just in the arena. I'm in the arena when I get my there and theirs
Uh-huh.
mixed
All
up and
right.
Grammarly didn't catch it. I'm like,
Right.
whatever.
Right. Whatever. Whatever.
Where can everyone, let's go around, follow you, get in touch with you, find you, all the places? Dr. T, I'll let you go first.
Absolutely. LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn, Theresa Ashby, Facebook, I'm out there. And then of course, here's the thing. Because I love people and love talking about this. If you go to my website, kaleidoscopemediaservices.com, and there is a contact page, I would love to have somebody just
Yeah.
sign up. Let's just talk in the comments, say that, you heard me on this beautiful podcast, and I would love to just have a 15-minute conversation because I love to hear what people are doing.
I could be reached at LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my social media place where you can find me. My book, Philanthropy on a Shoestring: How to Make a Difference on a $1.40 Day, Amazon, or my website, which the short version is catcurrywilliams.com or catherinecurrywilliams.com. And also, I can be reached through those medias because there's messaging. And of course, we'd love you to join us as a She Angel member. We'd love that if you're interested in finding out more. We call them circles instead of chapters because we love the full
I love it.
circle of giving. So, and we do the heavy lifting, you do the giving. And so find us on She Angels Foundation as well.
And we'll link to all that. And that is great for organizations who are interested in applying for a grant, or if women would like to join the giving circle, we'll link to that as well.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you both for generously sharing your time today. I know this was helpful because we gave people a 360-degree view, I feel like, of philanthropy, giving circles, community engagement, and just changing the culture, I think, of how they talk to their donors
Yeah.
and prospects. So thank you both for your time.
Thank you.